MICCOM Cables and Wires Limited is the first indigenous cable manufacturing company in Nigeria. The company provides quality cables and wires that are in conformity with international standards, thus contributing to the technological and industrial development of Nigeria and the African continent as a whole.
When we started as far back in 1978, there was no fully Nigerian company. The companies that were on ground had affiliates with some foreign country, and there were only two of them then at the time. So when we came in, it was more of, this is in Nigeria. You can't have a monopoly of a Nigerian market, and there is no Nigerian, you guys don't have two heads, that kind of thing. So we took that opportunity on board, and then we started to produce. Started from humble beginnings, and right now we are one of the biggest in Nigeria. Over the years, what we've stood for is quality. Because at the time we felt we were obligated to match or be at par with the foreign ones that were here. So we couldn't come in below standard. And that has always been what we have focused on. The brand equity has grown tremendously. So everything we focus on is quality.
One of the key thrusts of the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act 2010 is maximizing the participation of Nigerians in oil and gas activities. The Chief Operating Officer gives insight on this.
So the NOGIC Act, for example, which is the act that protects us in the local content, for example, is opened tremendous doors. These projects in the oil and gas, we wouldn't have been part of that, right? But it has ensured that local manufacturers like ourselves are protected. And we are protected in the sense that however, whatever, we have to get the job, as long as we're qualified to do the work, right? So we've had to also go through the audits and the testing and the certification to ensure that we do fit the bill, and everything else is seamless. And it's amazing that, the end users, the clients, they do not have a choice. And I'm happy to also note that the feedback we've received from them, albeit they were, maybe a bit skeptical to begin with, right? The feedback for us, at least in MICCOM, has been fantastic. So it's a great deal. And I really do need to acknowledge the NCDMB, because they have pushed it. They have made sure that that act becomes implementable. And they're following up on it. They've empowered people like ourselves. It is causing us to think upgrades, think investments. With investments will come employment opportunities. With investments will come more money for the government in form of taxes. So it's a fantastic opportunity that we have, and I know that there's still a long way to go, and the sky is only the limit.
The MICCOM Cables and Wires Chief Operating Officer listed some of the projects executed by the company for government, residential, as well as the oil and gas industry.
I tend to want to split the projects in different little sub-segments, right? So if we're talking government, right, in the days of NEPA, we were one of the biggest suppliers of NEPA. So a lot of the distribution networks that we currently have, we were part of it, right? And then in terms of infrastructure and buildings, in fact, what we started with originally was the electrification of the airport, the Lagos airport. So every time I'm driving into the Lagos airport, I'm like, yay! Our cable is in that building. We do a lot of stuff with the central bank. So a lot of their regional offices we have. A lot of state government parastatals as well, the electricity boards and the whatnot. We do a lot of work with them. So this would be governmental, right? If we're talking institutions, think of the university. Our cables are in there, right? Think of the major churches as well. Our cables are, the winners, the redeemers, our cables are in there. So we tend to want to, focus on projects at the end of the day, because it is something that we want to be proud of. And most recently, we have ventured into the oil and gas, and right now we are on several projects. We've done some community electrification with Shell on the Asa North. We are part of the Port Harcourt refinery rehabilitation. We are currently also part of the NLNG Train 7. So there's a lot of opportunities that we're tapping into.
MICCOM Cables and Wires ensures that all technical staff are always up to date with the latest changes and developments within the industry.
If I don't have off-takers for what I sell, I'm likely going to just revolve around the same capacity that I used to have. Now I've got business that is causing me to work extra hours. There is no way on earth that I will still be where I am. Right, so I'm comparing when we started our inroad into the oil and gas, which give or take maybe 4 years ago, and now. In terms of our people expertise, we've had to up it a notch. In terms of our machinery, we've had to make sure that we have more efficient machines, more up-to-date machinery. In terms of even the structure of our factory layout, it has to be more, free-flowing and better efficient to be able to accommodate the new things that we're doing. There's a lot of plans for the future as well, because the joy of this certification, we also have to work in the oil and gas, is we're not sitting ducks. They're checking us as well. They make sure that we also do what we say we're doing. So it keeps us on our toes, and we don't have a choice but to get better.
From its humble origins, MICCOM Cables and Wires has, over the past 4 decades, reached a preeminent position in its market segment with fully operational marketing offices strategically placed to serve her customers by envisioning itself as a global player with a local presence.